Hello everyone, it's me Max23 and welcome back to the Final Fantasy VI Tea Edition. So sit back and enjoy. Oh my goodness, feels good to be back, right? In any case, last time we did beat Kefka and with his defeat finished the base game. What that means for us now is that the last major thing we can do in Final Fantasy VI Tea Edition is beating the EX patch, which does include some additional bosses. However, the EX patch in today's episode is not our major concern. What we want to focus on today is finishing everything that is still left in the base game before we then make the transition to said patch. And yeah, in order to do everything that there is still left, I was hard at work again. I did a bunch of stuff off screen, which I now want to present you again in one of those neat compilations I like to do. But yeah, a lot of things had to be done, a lot of grinding, a lot of things back and forth, and there is also some stuff left that we still need to do, like actively live here. So yeah, let me quickly tell you what it is that I did, and then we move on and do the rest that is still open. So yeah, we did defeat Kefka, and I was sitting there thinking, okay, what do I do now? And I decided, of course, I want to get the remaining stuff that is still left in the base game. And so I did set out to first of all get the remaining of Gao's rages. So we did already get a bunch of rages for Gao. Actually, we did a fairly good job, which mostly is because Gao learns rages now with just every encounter he participates in, not just encounters on the Welt, and you don't need to leave and stuff. And that left me with 6 rages Gao did not learn at that point. And those rages were Doberman, Hunthound, Joker, Megalodoth, Slackworm, and Steel Bat. Now keep in mind that we did beat the entirety of the Soul Shrine already. That means basically that those encounters can never be found in the Soul Shrine. I need to seek them out at the Welt, or at least I hoped so I would find them at the Welt. Spoiler, it did work out. But yeah, that's a good opportunity to talk about the Welt again, because once again I need to make clear that you understand how the Welt works so that you can understand my method for this. So basically, encounters on the Welt are divided into 63 different groups. Each of those groups holds an array for different encounters you can encounter on the Welt. So for example, if we encounter one enemy on the Welt, it picks one random encounter from 5 different formations in the current group. Once you defeat that encounter, the group advances by 1. So if you were in group 2, you would be in group 3 now. And then once again, you encounter the next encounter and it picks once again 1 out of 5 enemy formations. It should be noted that those groups not necessarily always hold 5 different formations, but most of them do, so that's like the example I'm using here. Like some groups only hold 1, for example, but most of them hold 5 different formations you can encounter per group. Of course, that has some very interesting implications. I did list all the enemies I wanted to encounter, I wanted to get rages from here. So basically what I had to do, I had to hope that I was in the right group and do get the right encounter to actually encounter the enemy I want to encounter. And that sounds horribly precise and horribly annoying, which actually is the case, but there are some ways to make this a little bit easier. For starters, it should be noted that the last group, Group 63, is always a group that has only a formation with Ricard Mage and Alchemia in it. And so when you notice that you encounter Ricard Mage and Alchemia, you know that you are in Group 36, and you basically start the entire cycle all over again. That's always very important to know, because that way you can pinpoint where you currently are in the groups. So with that knowledge, we can now make our way to those specific groups we need to seek out in order to encounter the encounters you want to find. For example, if I want to encounter one of the specific enemies I was hunting down, fittingly the Hunthound, for example. A Hunthound only appears in group number 11 and is only in one formation there. There are some additional tricks you can do there. Of course, with my current party level, like being at group number 1, that's pretty simple because I just slash through enemies like it's nothing. Like normally the way it goes, like the early groups hold early game encounters, and like the higher you go in the groups, the stronger the encounters do become, like being endgame enemies and stuff. But that means, of course, if I am in earlier groups, I can just like defeat enemies fairly quickly and reach the group that I want to get. It should be noted, I already mentioned Hunthound is group number 11, but in general all the enemies I was seeking out were fairly early in the groups. For example, Doberman is in group number 5-6, Joker in 18, Megalodoth in 2 and 10, and so on and so forth. So basically I was only interested in getting like those early groups. Of course, that means that the later groups are fairly uninteresting to me and are just a waste of time to fight through. And because I'm mainly interested in the first third of all the groups here. And there's a little trick you can do here. Actually, two little tricks, but I decided to use the more quote-unquote legitimate strategy here. But yeah, one thing you can do, which is like the sheep method, you could use save states. You could go to a group where the enemy is that you need to encounter. And once you are at that group, one thing you can do is you can do a save state and you can move around the world and you can see the encounter. If it is not the encounter you want with the enemy you want, you load the save state, you move to someplace else to a different encounter somewhere, and then you return to the world and basically you do reroll the enemy formation you get there. And that way you can like basically bounce between Welt and like normal encounter and eventually find the enemy you want. But yeah, like I said, I used the more legitimate method, which is using save and quit. Save and quit has the very interesting property that it advances the group ID you're currently in by roughly 13. So what that means, if I'm currently in group number 1, and I am on the world and save the game and quit, it advances me to roughly group 14. So that way I can basically skip groups and basically reach the end of all the groups again so that I can start the entire cycle again and get like into the range where I want to get without having to fight all that many encounters. Of course, the only thing that I cannot like avoid with this is like the RNG, which enemy formation I ultimately get. I can just make it faster to reach the respective groups I need to get to, not the enemy formations though. But it did help quite a lot to track down those enemies, and in the end I did manage to find all the enemies I needed. The only enemy I could not find on the world was the Slackworm out of the ones I did mention. But luckily we did already encounter the Slackworm via normal play, and that was in Miranda Desert, so I went there and was able to find a Slackworm fairly quickly and just defeated it, and with that got all the Rages for Go. When you do try to get all the Rages for Go, it should also be noted that some guides have conflicting information on what Rages Go can learn. For example, the guide I was using did list St. Elmo instead of Steelbat. So according to that guide, you could learn a St. Elmo Rage, but I was able to learn a Steelbat Rage instead. No clue what's going on there. And one thing that's also to notice is that sometimes enemy names can also differ a little bit. For example, I do get the Zombie Dragon Rage in this, but in the guide it lists a Dragon Zombie, so basically the other way around. So that was some stuff I had to look out for. But ultimately, I was able to get all the Rages for Go. There is one free space at the end of the entire list, which is just how it is. But I was able to confirm that it is all the Rages I have here, because I did go to the achievement room and I was able to see the achievement for Go that tells me you learned all the Rages for Go. So yeah, pretty nice, I got all the Rages for Go now. Speaking of achievements, this takes me to the next major point and the one that took arguably the longest time, and that was getting all the achievements in the game. Of course, Final Fantasy XVI Edition does introduce achievements to the game, and those are exactly what you expect them to be. Some of them you get from doing certain stuff in the story, others you get from finishing certain side quests, and so on and so forth. One group of achievements requires you to use X ability Y times with character Z, and much to my dismay, those were precisely the achievements I have been missing a lot of. So what that meant is I had to go out into the world and I had to use character abilities a lot. And with a lot, I don't just mean a lot, I mean multiple hundred times. Of course, some abilities I already did use a lot in the game, for example Steel or Gogo's Mimic, but a lot of them I also barely used at all. So you can imagine that this would be incredibly tedious to grind out. But luckily I did find some strategies, but before I go into more details, let me give you some general tips for getting those achievements, because those will be important once I get to how to do all of this without much self-participation. First of all, it should be noted that if Gogo uses one of set abilities, it does count towards the overall count. So for example, if Gogo performs a successful steal, it does count towards the achievement that requires specifically Locke normally to perform X amount of successful steals. Then it should be noted that secondary abilities, for example, Pray for Celis or Bless with Realm, do not count to Runic and Sketch in those cases specifically. It has to be the ability that is stated in the achievement, and those secondary abilities do not count towards the overall count. And then of course, one thing that is important to keep track of how many times you used those abilities, you can always ask Mr. Cleo, who lives in the house north of Narsha, to get a rough estimation of how many times you used character abilities. Of course, this kind of information is nice and important and all, but that still does mean that we need to grind all of this out pretty tediously. However, there's one light at the horizon, because most of this stuff can actually be automized. The key to get this automation done is to create endless battles, and I will go into detail about every single kind of ability you need to use, and how to create endless battles for them, so that you can use those abilities indefinitely while not having to participate yourself. But first of all, once again, some general tips when it comes to automation, before we then go into detail for each respective ability. Of course, the first thing you should do is set the cursor in the options menu to retain, because that way you can just keep the button pressed and it will basically always execute the moves you want to execute without having to menu around. And then the other thing that will be a big friend of yours will be a tape to keep the A button pressed. Of course, it would be pretty well advised to equip your characters with good equipment. In general, good stuff is elemental resistances, status protection, regen, and of course haste to speed the entire process up. And you should also take care to not equip any counter weapons. For example, the Omega Weapon. Omega Weapon does have some advantages, but it does have counter, and that's something we cannot do, because otherwise characters could counter and ruin our endless battles we created. But yeah, those are just some general tips. Now we want to move on to more specific situations. How do we create those specific endless battles for specific abilities? And yeah, I will tell you how to do that. So let's start with one of the easiest achievements in this regard, which is using Shadow's Twin Fang 250 times. Of course, at first that doesn't sound too simple, because Twin Fang is an ability Shadow does use randomly, more or less. It's kind of a counter, so that's something to take into consideration here. But if you get the endless battle running, create all the necessary circumstances, it's actually fairly simple. You don't need to do anything. But yeah, the way you want to do this is you want to go to Triangle Island. Triangle Island in general will be a very important spot here, because it does have Nut Eaters, and Nut Eaters are the basically weakest enemies we can encounter in World of Ruin here, and as such are very good enemies to create endless battles with. What you want to do is you want to find a formation with Nut Eaters. don't get into a fight with Skull Eaters. Skull Eaters have the tendency to run away and ruin your endless battle. But yeah, once you have Nut Eaters, it's almost always a group of 3 Nut Eaters. You want to vanish one of the Nut Eaters, and you want to kill the other 2. And then basically what you have to do is nothing at all anymore. You just let the battle run, and like occasionally Shadow will counter with Twin Fang, and because the only one Nut Eater that is still alive is vanished, Twin Fang will miss, but it will still count as one use of Twin Fang. So basically what happens is Shadow will continuously counter the Nut Eater's attacks, occasionally use Twin Fang, and you can basically leave and after a while return and hopefully have the 250 Twin Fangs by then. But yeah, this is basically the easiest example of one of those endless battles you can create. The ideas are kind of similar for the following circumstances we want to create, but I think this is already a good showcase of what it is we want to accomplish here. Of course, the aforementioned general tips do apply here. If you have region, that would be pretty nice. Haste is not as necessary here, but of course you also want to make sure that Shadow does not take like major damage here, lest he dies and ruins your entire progress. It should also be noted that casting Vanish on Shadow does not work, because then he simply avoids the attack and never counters. Of course, if you had Vanish on Shadow, he would like survive indefinitely, but like I said, he would not counter, so that's out of the question and not productive for our goal here. But yeah, that's how you create one of those scenarios we wanted to create here. Wait until you get the 250 Twin Fangs. I think for me it took like half an hour or so, just letting the game run and doing something else in the meantime, and then you return. And yeah, you should hopefully have the 250. If you don't know, of course, go to Mr. Cleo, like I said, and shake and rinse and repeat, basically. But yeah, that's how you get the 250 Twin Fangs for Shadow. Okay, the next achievement is already a little bit more involved, because the next one that I did seek out was using Umaru's Ice Storm 500 times. The same rules still apply. Once again, we want to go to Triangle Island, we want to encounter a Nut Eater, but this time around we want to bring Umaru, of course, and a Blue Mage. That's very important, because the Blue Mage should use Force Field inside battle until Ice is nullified. Once you nullify the Ice element with Force Field, you want to cast Vanish on Umaru, and you also want to kill the Blue Mage. Because what you can then do is fixate the A button on Ice Storm for Umaru, and Umaru will simply only ever use Ice Storm. The Blue Mage, if he would still be alive, would of course perform other actions in the meantime, which is something we don't want. So yeah, with that set up, Umaru constantly uses Ice Storm. He cannot die because he's vanished, and the enemy, the Nut Eater, is immune to ice because we did nullify ice elemental damage with Force Field. So with that we can create an endless battle and farm uses for Ice Storm. The next achievement I did seek out was also actually the most complicated one, because I'm talking about Realm's Sketch. We need to use Sketch 500 times, and Sketch does run into some issues, because we cannot create an endless battle with Sketch. Simply because Sketch will kill the enemy sooner or later. That is because it is not always the same move. Sometimes, of course, which is unique to T Edition here, sometimes Realm performs Wishing Star, and Wishing Star is simply a move that kills. Especially at my current state here, Wishing Star does get more damage from the amount of steps you have taken, so with my current step count, it simply does kill enemies. So instead of going to the Triangle Island for this one, I did go to the Soul Shrine, and I was repeating Wave 1 over and over. Wave 1 of Soul Shrine has the advantage that it is a long sequence of weak enemies that can kind of be automatically defeated. There are some, of course, preparations you want to do for that. You want to equip a brush so that you always am guaranteed to perform Sketch. And you also definitely want to equip something that protects against instant death and petrify. because those are two nasty statuses that can be applied here. Some enemies can apply in that wave, so if one of those enemies does that, you instantly die and lose all your progress, so that's something you don't want. Yeah, you want to start the wave, then you want to fixate the A button on sketch, of course, and then basically you're at the mercy of what happens. Nothing major should happen. Realm should be able to survive all of the stuff here. Enemies are fairly weak because she's fighting early game enemies, which cannot really do much, especially if you have the aforementioned Death and Petrify protection. One advantage here is that the enemies sometimes have some useless sketches that do not really deal damage and or kill. So what that means is only Wishing Star, which only occasionally procs, does defeat enemies here, which allows you to get some additional sketches and not like one sketch for one enemy. Sometimes Realm also gets blinded, which is also a good help, because the regular sketch is often physical if it is not Wishing Star. So in that regard, Realm can perform a sketch, but does miss the enemy once again, giving you additional sketches per enemy. And even if it misses, it still counts towards the overall sketch count, so it does not actually necessarily have to hit. Just the process of sketching needs to work. That's the important thing here. Of course, because this is a fixed sequence of encounters, eventually you will run out of enemies to fight here. Based on my experience, it takes roughly 30 minutes for me to see the end of the wave, so after 30 minutes you should check if Realm has finished the current wave, and then you just need to rinse and repeat until you have enough sketches, and that's the way I got the 500 sketches for Realm. And next up is Celis's Runic, which we need to use 500 times, although that's not precisely what we need to do, because Runic also actually needs to absorb a magic in order to count towards the total. Once again, we want to go back to the Triangle Island, and we want to encounter Night Eaters. We want to bring both Celis as well as a Blue Mage once again. The Blue Mage should have the Economizer equipped, so they can cast magic for 1 MP. Once you are inside the battle, you want to cast Force Field with the Blue Mage until either Fire, Ice or Lightning are banned. The reason for this is because Fire, Ice and Lightning are of course the elements of the 3 base black magic spells, all of which have a very short casting time and are easily accessible, which are of course the ideally spells then to cast inside battle. Once you do ban Fire, Ice or Lightning, you want to fix the A button so that the Blue Mage keeps casting either Fire, Blizzard or Thunder, depending on what element you have banned, and Celis keeps using Runic. Of course, you might have the question now why the entire setup even was necessary, because normally what you would imagine is Celis uses Runic, then a character casts a spell and Celis absorbs the spell, and it does count as one Runic. Yeah, that's normally how it goes, but you need to keep in mind that the ATB bars, of course, for Celis and the character that casts, do fill at different rates. And that can sometimes cause the spellcast and the Runic to go out of sync, so that the spellcast sometimes gets cast during a time in which Celis prepares her Runic, and as such targets the enemy and damages the enemy, ruining the entire endless battle. If you hit that blind spot, the caster of course does cast the spell and kills the enemy, which is something the force field that we did do previously prevents. Once you do create all of the necessary setup, you just let the characters do their respective stuff, and you return after a while, and you should hopefully enough Runic uses so that you get the achievement. One thing of course here is that you can always use the Karsus MP to estimate how many Runic uses you have used. At least as a rough estimate, because like I said, sometimes you do hit this blind spot and it does not count as a Runic absorption, and as such not towards the overall count, but it does serve as a rough estimation. So yeah, keep that in mind, and yeah, once you see that Runic has been, or like 500 MP has been used, you should be at 500 Runic uses, so keep that in mind. Next up was something I was actually slightly afraid of, because now we are talking about Setsu's slot command, which we need to use 500 times. What was dreadful about grinding slots for me was the entire RNG nature of the move. Because of course what you need to consider here is you do have like the slot machine, and simply because it's a slot machine of course all of that is random. But luckily, things actually were surprisingly easy. Once again, we want to go to the Triangle Island, fight Nut Eaters. And literally the only thing we need to do is just fix A while on slot, and then Setzer does perform his slot. The first slot he performs can always be RNG-like, so if you are not lucky, Setzer will kill the enemies, which is bad. But every following slot he does will always land on Mesidian Bunny, and once you do get Mesidian Bunny, basically, you're good. You can just let the slots... you can just let Setzer perform slot over and over again, and he never does something else. He just does Mesidian Bunny, which is very interesting to know, actually. To be more precise, what should happen is that the slots always land on the combination of Bahamut, Bar, and Diamond, specifically, which always, of course, triggers Mesidian Bunny, because that's not a combination that does anything, it's just like the fail combination, which triggers Mesidian Bunny. And because Mesidian Bunny, of course, doesn't deal damage and does also actually heal, it's actually super easy. Setzer will not die, enemy will not die, and yeah, you just wait until Setzer used slot 500 times and you're good to go. It was much easier than I actually thought. And the final achievement of that category, use X ability Y times, was actually Locke's Steel. Luckily, of course, we did develop a strategy for using Steel. Like, normally Steel would be pretty involved, but I had a goal for Steel here. Once again, I did go to the cult classic called Solitary Island to farm X potions and X ethers. Of course, because I have done this in the past already quite some times, the count for Steel was already pretty high, I think around 300 or so. Of course, this also showcases how absolutely ridiculous those requirements for the achievements are, because I already used Steel so many times throughout this entire playthrough, but I still haven't gotten the achievement. Anyways, what I did on the Solitary Island was I did get a supply of 99 X items of both, so we have 99 X potions and 99 X ethers now. One thing to note here for Steel in particular, of course, is that you actually need to steal an item with the Steel in order for it to count towards the total steals. The message couldn't steal or enemy has no item, both of those do not work. If you see that, it does not count as one steal towards the overall total. You actually need to steal items. Of course, what that means is that you cannot simply automate the entire steal process. You actually need to actively steal from enemies, seek out different encounters from time to time. But of course, because I had a specific goal here in mind, I had a reason to use those steals, so that was not like actually pretty tedious. And of course, one thing you can also do is you can use the items that you steal to keep track of your steal count, so that way you don't need to run to Mr. Cleo all the time. Last but not least, we need to use Mimic with Gaogao 500 times. This is actually super simple because, like I mentioned in the very beginning for general tips for all of this, Gaogao, if he uses one of the character abilities, it does count towards the total, so what you can simply do is splash Gaogao into any of the aforementioned strategies somehow, and yeah, you just let him use Mimic, use it with Runic or so, and yeah, with that he simply and does get uses for Mimic, and yeah, that way you easily get the 500 Mimic uses for Gao, which was also pretty high for me already because I used Mimic already a bunch of times in this entire playthrough, so that was fairly simple. And with all of that, we arrived back at the present time. You should have gotten a nice overview of what it is that I have done in between episodes. As you can see, we are in front of Narshe, and of course what we want to check out right now is the achievement room. How does the achievement room look like now? It should be pretty full, right? If I cannot move, that was weird. I think I was stuck on something. Okay, yeah, achievement room is over here. But yeah, look at this, achievement room. We got all the character-specific achievements. Doesn't that look nice? We got a statue of all of our characters here, which is pretty nice. But yeah, that, like I said, that's like stuff here like Rune Amok successfully performed Runic 500 times, or here Setzer, one-armed bandit used slot 500 times, and so on and so forth. Like all of this was mostly empty the last time we checked, I think. I think at least the left half was completely empty. Of course, easier ones here are like Mokia, learn every dance, or Strago, learn every blue magic spell. Those are the ones we've already gotten. But yeah, like those use 500 times each ability. That's super annoying, but yeah, I did it anyways. And mostly because I could automate it. If I wouldn't be able to automate it, I wasn't sure if I would have done this, but yeah. With automation, this was actually easy enough to do like that. Okay, if we move like in the other room here, we will notice something else. We will notice that there are some achievements are still missing. 3 are still missing, like we still have like 3 empty tables here. Those achievements here we did get from performing certain stuff. For example, play over 100 hours, complete every pub quest. What was this? Yeah, get an extra outfit for every character. But yeah, there are still 3 missing. 2 of those we will get through continuing to play. Because one of those is one of those achievements we do get for defeating all of the EX bosses. So one of those is some achievement we will still get. And the other one we do get by starting a New Game Plus. I'm actually not sure how that works out. It might actually be that I actually need to play through the entirety of New Game Plus at some point, which would be annoying, but it could also just simply be that after I'm finishing the EX bosses, I start New Game Plus, we get the achievement here, and then we have all the achievements, because once we get all the achievements that are missing, we do get, of course, our quote-unquote Platinum Trophy, which is probably the one that stands here for getting all the different achievements in the game. But yeah, that's all the achievements. We should be on a good course to complete those rooms here. So yeah, that's one thing completed in the base game so far, at least as I'm concerned. Like I said, the other things we do get by doing other stuff in the EX patch. But yeah, over here, the collection room still. I'm actually not sure, I think over here. Yeah, of course, this is the room where we do have all our quest items. This room and the other room here should be full. Actually not, there's one missing here. I'm actually not sure what was that again. Okay, I had to look the item up again, but yeah, the item that is missing here are circus screens. We did use the circus screens at some point for one of the pub quests, the one where we did give the circus screens to drain moblets, and we received a merit award for that, our merit award. That means we need to track down another piece of circus screens. I hope that's easily possible. But yeah, basically what we want to do right now here is we want to complete the collection room. It is not just circus screens we are missing, because over here, this is where we have all the legendary weapons, this is complete, but over here in the other room, there are still some items missing here, like we have like this, and there are also some other pieces here, like you can see the Magitech armor here, but there's also something we will place here, and I think also something here. But yeah, we need to go back to the Yido auction house. We can actually buy, in T edition, we can actually buy like this stuff, like the like electronic chocobo or whatever it is, like stuff you can normally not buy in the base game, but that stuff we can actually buy, and it will be added here to the collection room. So that's what we are after now. Circus screens is something I actually did not note. I almost forgot about that one, but luckily I just checked. But yeah, for now let's try to get our hands on those guild-related auction house items. Which means we leave here and we fly towards Yido. Yido over there. But yeah, making 100% sure that we have everything here in this normal base game. I'm actually not sure if I'm currently equipped, I should be careful. Not that I die right now. But yeah, Town of Yido. This means I might need to cut again, but I think that's fine, because otherwise this would be too tedious. Looking for something special, join the bidding. I'm also actually not sure if I have enough gil. If I don't have enough gil, I need to farm some. But let's see if we have something of interest here. It doesn't seem interesting at all. It's a feather boots. That's certainly not what I want to get here. I guess we see each other once I do find something I'm actually interested in. So at this stage, I guess we set a cut. Aha, there we have him. We have the state-of-the-art, lifelike talking chocobo. I'm actually not sure in the meantime. I did actually buy the lunar curtain that they offer here. I'm actually not sure if that's important or not, but Maybe it is. But you know, we can buy the Chocobo here. I'm actually not sure how expensive this one is. I, of course, do know that the father with his child here does bet a lot here. No, you don't. No, pipe down. I want it. I want it. Buy it, daddy. Please. Pretty please. Come on now. Don't be shy. 10k, okay. Do I hear any more bits? 500,000. Oh god. For 500,000 gil? Wait. Oops, I forgot my billfold. Daddy, you're such a dump. Oh, actually, okay. So to this, like, you better take it away. Oh, I can. Oh, I see. Oh. Okay. Obtain talking chocobo, and yeah, that's one of the collection room items here. That's all for today. Come back again soon. Okay, that's one down. Actually, 2 more I'm missing. We still need to get... Actually, 2 more? Yeah, there's actually a Kappa robot, apparently. And there's also a model airship. Let's see if I can find those as well. But first of all, I seem to feather boots. Yeah, it seems also as if like items in the auction house here are limited. So if I buy the feather boots now, I should be able to get different items, I think. I mean, I have enough skill. I feel like one of those guys, yeah, almost. So 15k should be enough, I hope. Yeah, okay. Finally, feather boots, what I always wanted. Okay, let's just hope that we do get the item now. I'm not setting a cut here right now, just to confirm my thought or not. Let's see, what do we get here? Oh, this is the Kappa robot, right? You're not going to believe this one. A fully robotic imp. The peak of high technology. Okay, actually imp. Do I hear 5 gil? Wow, okay. I think this is also completely new. Can it be? I think that's something I've never seen in the base game. 500, wow. 2,000. And I was worried that I do not have enough money for this. 5,000, how about it? Daddy, I want that, please. No, you don't. No, pipe down. 10k gil. I want it, I want it. I like how he jumps with the robot. Buy it, daddy, please. Pretty please. 20,000. Okay, so 30,000, I presume, because he will forget his like wallet again or so. 1 million gil. Whoa. 1 million? Magic? Wait. Whoops, I forgot my billfold. Daddy, you're such a dump. Okay, nice. You get a Kappa robot, an imp robot. Cool. That means only 1 left. We need to get the airship model now. It could actually very well be that all of this is like progressive. You buy 1 item, then the next item gets unlocked, and after a while you run out of items you can buy here. That could be something. But there we go. That's an airship model if I have ever saw one. A 1 in 1,200 scale airship. Do we have 5,000 gil? Reminds you of like this like weird soldier statue you get in Final Fantasy VII. But what was it? 1 in 25 soldier or so? Come on now, don't be shy. 10k, okay. 20,000? 30,000? I'm getting more expensive here. I could imagine 40,000 then, I guess. Like, he's gonna say, Daddy, buy that for me. No, you don't. No, pipe down. I want to play, please. Please. 60,000 then. Or 70? No, okay, 60 is enough. 1 million gil. Whoa, 1 million. Like, how much money does this guy have? Wait. Oops, I forgot my billfold. And the first time around, I almost read blindfold. Sold to this lucky bidder. Take it away. Cool, and that's our last collection room item. Perfect. Obtained airship model. That's all, folks. Cool, nice. That means we can now try to get Silke screens again. I hope I can get them again. I hope that's also nothing linked to NGPlus. Do I even have anything equipped? I'm actually not sure. It has been some time since I like completed all the achievements and stuff, so actually not sure what my current equipment is, but I'm fairly certain I should be fine, right? I mean, okay, quick check. I want to go to Ikea because that's where you get the initial like pub quest for the key item here. Ikea's up there. I'm not sure if that's important or not. I think the other thing I just need to do is then seek out a new Ouchu in Phantom Forest. Let's see, I should also save maybe, otherwise something corrupts also. Let's see, do you have anything to say? Welcome, any jobs available? Yeah, all the available jobs at the moment. Supply Hall, I think Supply Hall is the one. Wait a second, Supply Hall? Circus Screens, The Will to Live for Tomorrow. It's not quite what I had in mind. Supply Hall? Taking care of that one, yeah, okay. No, I think we... Staying strong also not it. No. Okay. Guess we just need to go to Phantom Forest then. Let's hope so. And just defeat the Ouchu and then we should get Circus Screens, I presume. And then we should have a full collection room. Phantom Forest near Miranda. Over there, Phantom Forest is smaller than usual, of course. Yeah, there we have one. You. I hope I'm strong enough, let's see. I should be strong enough, right? Quake, I think that's not good. At least, okay, we at least have like elemental protection and stuff. And Flare is also proccing, very nice. Okay, but there are more that spawn right now. Also, my magic here is completely not sorted right now, by the way. Because I did use like a different order, of course. Let's see if Ultima deals significant damage here. Yeah, fine enough. Life Shaver doesn't deal damage. It's elemental, it's Earth Elemental, right? Yep, kills itself, nice. And one Ultima from Gao Gao, who is disguised as Minwu, so it's actually pretty fitting. Zero damage. And one more Life Shaver. We should get Circus Screen after this now, please. There's something. Yeah, nice. Obtain Circus Screens. There we go. Oh no, no, it encounters. Ah, there we go. Apanda was dangerous. Wait a second. Teleport. And Mega Weapon twice, of course. Bye. I could still hear the menu. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's go back to Narshe, because then we should see our completed room here. That was easier than I expected, but nice. Like, I was really worried that I did not have enough skill. Oh god. Here, thank you. Over here. And first off over here, so that we can behold our key items. Look at this. Circus Greens. This plant can grow in the harshest of soils. Circus Greens grow natively in the Phantom Forest. Chocobos absolutely love Circus Greens, but humans enjoy the delicious, vitamin-rich plant as well. Cool, okay. So we got all the key items, pretty much. Very nice. I'm also very happy that I'm apparently able to kind of sidestep NGPlus, because I really don't want to play through the entire game again. Like, it's nice, but doesn't really have to do that again. But yeah, look at this. Why does the Kappa robot look so weird in the auction house? Imp robot. A wind-up doll, popular among the aristocrats of Lidor. Okay, there we have our airship model. A 1 in 1,200 scale model of the airship Blackjack. It's actually kind of nice that we, like, in this sense, now still have the Blackjack with us. That's pretty nice. And the Talking Chocobo. A life-size stuffed doll popular with children. Makes a rock or possibly nice, that's a good one. Sound when its head is pet. That's actually a good one, because Varg is like the original translation for the Chocobo's characteristic quail. That's pretty good. Okay, nice. And so all of this is finished now. Nice. Guys, do you know what that means? That means we can now make the transition to the EX patch. Because we did finish everything else. Let me quickly check my notes here again, so that I'm absolutely sure that I got everything here. We do have the collection room. I did inform you about the achievements, yeah. Oh, there's something interesting still. Yeah, one interesting thing that is still interesting. Actually, let's go to the airship. I want to de-equip my entire party. And then I want to show you something. Because when it comes to our items... In general, I still need to show you what my item supply is, I think. Because if you look at items now, we can arrange, and first of all, like I said, 99x items of both, 99x potions, 99x ethers. I did not farm elixirs or mega elixirs, that's something I didn't do. I apparently also did not buy items, that's something I need to do. But yeah, if we look at our like item count here, we do see the following. If we scroll all the way down, we see that we only have 3 slots here left in the entire inventory. And interestingly, I actually did track those items kind of down. Actually not, because we... Okay, there's one item we already got, which is La Seraphica, of course. La Seraphica is one item we already got. But other than that, I do know of the existence of 2 items. I'm actually not sure if we will ever get those. One of which I'm fairly certain we do not ever get again. Because one of those items is the Cursed Shield. The Cursed Shield, of course, is what originally the Hero Shield was. Of course, we do not get another Cursed Shield, or at least I presume so. We do not get another Cursed Shield. But theoretically, that would be one of those missing items here. And the other item is something called the Piggy Badge. I'm actually not sure what the Piggy Badge is, but like in the guide I did read, it did mention a Piggy Badge. Now, I did already mention that the guide does have like some very weird things going on with the rages, but could also be that it has something weird going on with the items as well. So Piggy Badge might be an item we can still find somewhere, even though I'm not sure about that. Like, I'm fairly certain by this point I did get like all the items you could possibly like find and stuff, so a good question what that means. Yeah, I completely forgot to buy items, so that's something I need to do, but not now. Right now I want to change my party to like the party I would most likely want to take with me to the EX patch. Never mind, I had to make a cut. Yeah, you can see I'm in a completely different location right now. Because I did use the opportunity, if I had to make a cut, I thought I can also do other stuff as well. But yeah, first of all, I did buy the items finally. So we have 99 of pretty much everything that is like a basic consumable right now. And yeah, the other thing, of course, as you can see, I'm here in Kefka's Tower again. There's one thing I want to do here, one thing I noticed later, and one thing I figured out later. Because in this part of Kefka's Tower here, this is where we fought a demon, like right here, that's where the demon statue stood. Yeah, and if we go down here, like over here, and press A, we find some hermit shoes, okay. There's a hidden chest here, and I thought maybe that would be something important, but only hermit shoes, okay. Yeah, okay. Who knows, maybe that would have been the Piggy Badge, but yeah. Yeah, you can see we're right in front of where the final battle takes place, basically. And that's something I wanted to quickly show off. So now that we got that out of the way, we can teleport out of here. I also really need to sort my inventory and my magic and my cursor again. Wait a second. Cursor back to reset, re-equip empty, and maybe we have magic. Magic order is white black space time. Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to change party members here. Yeah, all members is fine. Let's go with the Ace party here again. Terra, Celis, Gogo, and Umaru, right? Yeah. Those are the 4 that did it the best, in my opinion. I will not equip them right now. I did not bother to equip any characters here. But we will do so once I'm in the EX patch, which is our next goal. We want to make the transition now. So let's go back to Narshe. I did show off everything I want to show off in the base game, I think. I'm fairly certain of it, so that means you can save right here. You can also see we are at 160 hours right now. Almost 61. Which is amazing. Also, this episode is a mess to edit, I can already tell. But yeah, in order to initiate the EX patch, basically the only thing we need to do in order to get access to the EX patch is, I think, beat Ultima and get its Magicite. I think that's the only requirement. But once you do that, we can go here to the secret room and we can enter the middle door. Developer's room. I think this was previously closed off, but now we can enter. And we have the developer's room here. Of course, a nod to Final Fantasy IV and maybe Chrono Trigger as well, of course. But yeah, I wonder what developers are we talking about here. I guess Square stuff, even though it's like made by a hacker. Daryl, how's my dear old falcon doing? Oh, actually, Daryl, just Daryl, okay. I love looking at the night sky from her deck. There's nothing like it. Zetsa's Blackjack is definitely a good ship too, but nothing compared to the Falcon. Okay. All the deceased people here. Oh, hello everyone. It's good to see you again. I hope you enjoy your time here. Okay, who are you? Bahram, yeah, of course. That cute girl behind you. Her name's Rachel, you say? She's gorgeous. Okay, who are you? Oh, you are Lone Wolf, yeah. Surprised to see me? I got caught stealing stuff and now I'm being forced to work here. So what you wanna buy? Oh, I can actually buy stuff here. Okay, I can actually buy thieving items here. Okay, that's something I did not expect, that we suddenly get more shops here. Okay. I'm sorry for all the dumb stuff I said. Man, I'm such a loser in the main game. The children gave Drain a real talking to about how he doesn't understand girls at all. Okay. Welcome to the developers room. Well, the developers aren't actually here, but yeah. Why is it called a developers room then? What kind of question is that? Cause it sounds cool, duh. Okay, Kappa. This place throws the main story canon and all that other stuff out of the window, so don't take this stuff too seriously, okay? It's just for fun. Okay, I see what we're doing here. Now Alvis and Banon are here, Arvis. There's hoping for a patch that adds me and Banon as full party members. Oh yeah. I wish I'd been given more to do in the original game. You just vanish in the original game, that's true. Like, you presumably, like, both of those presumably die in Vector, like in the base game. Also, what is this music? Sounds kind of familiar. Mock House. Oh, I think this is the important one. I think particularly this save point. I think this is the save point we need to use in order to make the transition. So this is the one I want to go last to. I'm gonna assume that the Mughals will explain stuff to me. This is a place from the main... Is that just the bar from Vector, I think? Kind of? But yeah, we have the Imperials here. Indeed, I am the Emperor. Okay. Kefka and Leo on one table. Wow, that's weird. Who are you? Biggs! It's you! Ah, Biggs, of course, yeah. ... Actually, a scene. Captain Biggs? Oh, it's actually nice to have Terra here, then. Terra. Finally, we meet again. It was you. It was all you were doing. Because of you, we got transported to a place called the Guardia Kingdom. Oh! Okay, I see. I always knew Final Fantasy VI does have connections to Chrono Trigger. Joined some group called Avalanche and got hired as bottom tier grunts for the Guardian army. Wow, they actually... Okay, if you really think about that... that's a nice fanon. Those are always the same guys. They just get like teleported. They are just Gilgamesh, basically. In this one world called Spira, we worked as security soldiers and athletes for a really weird sport. Nice. Then in this other world with 2 moons, we were members of an airship fleet called the Red Wings. Oh yeah, in the last world, we ended up with bodies that can't die no matter what. Can you believe that? Bodies that can't die. In the last world, we ended up with bodies that can't die no matter what. They do appear in Final Fantasy 15, but I don't think that's how things go. Where do they also appear? Is that Final Fantasy 11 and I don't get it? Could be. All I remember is being stuck there for centuries. It was so much fun. It was all thanks to you. You're the greatest. Nice, I like this dialogue, that's good. I doubt anyone else has ever got to experience so many different things. Talking about Gilgamesh. Thank you, really, I mean it. Thank you. Bodies that can't die. Dissidia Final Fantasy? No. Like they do have like a cameo in Dissidia, but okay. Veg, what do you say? Like his eye. Terra, right? Do you remember me at all? Of course, you're Reg, right? Oh man. Then, I guess you remember when I used the slave crown to make you, call me Veggie Veg? What the fuck? Okay. Nope, can't say I remember that. Veggie Veg. Wow, nice one, Terra. Send me back. Send me back to any other world than this one. Wow. This is good. This is great, actually. What do you say? Welcome, please enjoy your stay. Okay, any pub quests? No. Okay, Kefka and Leo. Hey, you cretins! Have you bought Dissidia yet? Oh, talking about Dissidia. I'm in it, you know. It makes me look so cool and hip. It's my kind of game. What's that? You haven't played it yet? You son of a submariner! Nice. Nice one. You better buy Duodecim too, or else I'll hate you. Ah! Okay. Do you say the same thing again? Do you want to say Dissidia again? I kind of like that, like, Kefka is a huge fan of Dissidia, apparently, in this. That's really great, if you ask me. Oh, thank heavens, it's you. I'm saved. What do you mean? Kefka, he has been talking to me non-stop for who knows how long. Could you help me out and chat with him so I don't have to? Okay. Leo, annoyed by Kefka, I see. Do you want to join my team? No, just the same stuff again. Okay, this is funny. I like this. Okay. Interesting. Let's check out this room. Music room, Hemingway, yeah. Want to hear music not in the music player, I guess? Listen to fanfares, listen to in-jingles, listen to fanfares. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, Mystic Quest, Chrono Trigger, Romancing Saga 2, or Saga? Romancing Saga? What is RS? Saga. Saga, yeah, Saga would be RS. What is RS? No clue. RS2, RS3, Street Fighter 1, Street Fighter 2. I think this is Treasures of Rudras. EST, no clue. Second Densetsu 2. Second Densetsu 3. Of course, Second Densetsu 2 is Secret of Mana. Okay. Yeah, let's listen to one, I guess. Final Fantasy VIII is always nice. We also have Celis over there. It's actually Maria. Never mind, it's Maria. It's Maria, not Celis. Of course, it's Maria. She looks like Celis, but yeah, of course. Cool. I guess that's nice. No, not again. Do do dee do dee do dee do do. Wappy wap. Did we ever hear Final Fantasy X? Oh yeah, of course, Stadion organ, I remember. Bop, 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 bop. What did Final Fantasy VII again? Okay, we did already hear that, yeah. I'm fairly certain we did hear all of the jingles by this point. Can we hear second Densetsu too? Way to go! Nice. Okay, and in jingle, why not? It's nice that this is also a thing. Okay, we got Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 4 Heroes of Light, okay. Nice, okay. Now this book has some weird collision, the table. Everything is quiet now. Rolls is like the antagonist of the opera, right? Just when we were about to be booted off stage, the finest actor of our time swooped in to save the day. His name? Vi Ultros, of course. He's a superstar in the making, without a doubt. Well, maybe a little doubt. Okay, can I get the music back? Okay. Draco? There was one performance we did that was largely ad-libbed. The audience absolutely loved it, as I recall. Okay, that's Maria, right? Yeah, I didn't get my time in the spotlight, so now I'm singing here to de-stress. Okay. A dragon once rushed up onto the opera stage. It probably just wanted to be an actor. Okay, that's the Earth Dragon. Undoubtedly, there are as many worlds out there as there are musical compositions. Okay. Impresario. You can listen to a variety of music here. How, you ask? Why, simply select sound in the config menu, then press the A button. Okay. If you want to know the title or titles of the song that plays, check the record player behind you, okay? There might even be some patrons here who can share extra details about certain songs. Okay. There's a record in the record player with the current music on it. You can check it to see what the music is called. Okay. Can I do this now? Or do I need to play a song now? How about... the Dawn Warriors. I do this now? The Dawn Warriors, Final Fantasy V. Ah, okay, I can... Oh, that's important, because now I can figure out what RS means. Wait a second, I need to do this. Having some fun in the developers room, I see. Final Fantasy Type 0, right? Final Fantasy Type 0, yeah, nice. That's a song I would not, like, really... like, recognize here, but okay. I guess FF something, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, 4 Heroes of Life. BDFF. What is BDFF? This is definitely something SNES-like. Bravely Default Flying Fairy, I see, okay. Okay, that's a game I still need to play, definitely. Bravely Default, okay. I can just skip here. Okay, a second Densetsu is obvious. Mystic Quest. What is SG? Saga 2. Hiho no Densetsu. Final Fantasy Legend. Ah, okay, that was all the Final Fantasy Legend games, of course. Okay. Then I guess RS is a Romancing Saga. Like if we go to this here, for example. Probably Romancing Saga 3, yeah, okay. And what else do we got here? Romancing Saga. Is that Street? That's not Street Fighter. What is SF? Saga Frontier. Saga Frontier is also a thing, okay. I agree it's the best of like Square music here. That's pretty nice. Okay, Saga 3 or so. Saga 3, yeah, definitely. Saga Frontier 2, MS. What is MS? MS. Romancing Saga Minstrel Song, okay. Nice that you have like an option to find all of that out. That's pretty nice. Also something Saga. Unlimited Saga, I think. Is that Unlimited Saga? Haha, there we go. Nice Unlimited Saga. I need to play more Saga games, guys. I only played the first one. XG is gonna be Xenogears, right? Also a game I have never played. Xenogears, yeah. XB is Xenoblade then, I guess. You will know, yeah, definitely. I recognize the name. LOM, what is LOM? Legend of Mana, okay. Legend of Mana, of course, makes sense. LAL. Live Alive. Live Alive. I recognize the music. Could also have read the title, probably. CT is obvious. Treasure of Rudras is obvious. Let's confirm. Yeah, I recognize the music. Rudra no Hihou. I think like the Fan translation calls it Treasures of Rudras also. Okay, and EST. What is EST? Lufia. Why is it called EST? Espolis Denki, it's called Espolis. Yeah, of course. I know that. Yeah, Rise of the Sinister would say, okay. Espolis, okay. Oh, music does not stay, too bad. Okay, let's check this room. Where are we now? Esper Village. Okay. In the old days, people used to summon me all the time, but these days, almost nobody ever calls for us. Okay. I'm not sure when it happened, but an octopus-like fellow moved in to our village at some point. I don't recall there being any Espers who look like him, though. Okay. Ultros on the loose again. I think this Esper village has like a different color tone compared to the ones we visited. Shiva is sleeping here. Ugh. Just a few more minutes. Mornings are my ultimate weakness. Okay, I thought it was fire, but okay. This is funny and interesting, I like this. There's Typhoon and Ultros, I did see those two. Marduin. I wonder what move... Now it's Yura. Okay, I wonder what move I'd do if someone were to summon me. Giga Flare. Oh, that'd be so nice to have. Nice one. Who are you? He's invisible. That's good. Actually, kind of, yeah, okay. I know I'm practically invisible and easy to forget, but I hope you'll still summon me from time to time. If that's okay with you, I mean, okay. That's funny. Piggy Patch! Ah! Okay. Okay. There it is. Okay, we got a Piggy Patch. It's one of those items I mentioned, huh? Patch imbued with Piggy spell, transform into pig. Absorbs earth, nullifies wind. That might be important. That's so weird to hide this here. Huh, okay. Once again, even now we get a new item. It's so weird. Like, why do like newer games not do stuff like this? This is so amazing. It's packed to the brim with content. It's amazing. Like, it never disappoints, this game. Never disappoints. Marduin and Madeline. This is gonna be interesting. Father! Oh, Terra! Wow. You've grown so much. Come visit us anytime. We'll be waiting for you. Okay. Mother! Oh, Terra. I never thought I'd see you again. Just promise me you won't push yourself too hard, okay? Okay, I promise. Thank you, Mother. This is so weird. Okay. Just casually Terra meeting her parents, okay. Well, weird alternate dimension, nothing new to Final Fantasy, but okay. Kirin? No, Unicorn. Did you know my heal horn can even turn a raged character back to normal? Yeah, I already recognize. Nice. But nice that they also tell you that. I wonder if they tell me all of that because it might be important for EX patch, who knows. Ifrit is doing gardening. This is my vegetable field. Once my new crop comes in, I'd be happy to have you over for dinner. Cooking is my true skill, believe it or not. All of this feels very like World of Final Fantasy like, if you ask me. It has like a certain charm that also World of Final Fantasy has. With the espers. Can I get the pot? I cannot get the pot, right? No. Probably has another Omega weapon in it. But cannot reach, cannot reach. Who are you? You are a Catoblepas. I have trouble looking others in the eye. Partly because my eyes turn stuff into stone. But the truth is, I'm just really shy, more than anything else. Okay, I like that in particular those two are sitting here. Like those two that like haunted me throughout the entire playthrough. Apparently, in the old days, espers could only be summoned by people who made pacts with them. Those people were called summoners. Stay away from the summoner. So I was thinking, you should make a pact with me so you can be just like old-timey summoners. Haha, just kidding. I think that's a reference to Final Fantasy XI again. I think like Carbuncle has like a special role in that, and I think that's like how the role goes also. Now that I'm back in the peace and quiet of the Esper realm, I can't help but miss living in Zozo. Despite how they seem, the people there are quite nice in their own way. Okay, Ramu missing Zozo, okay. Interesting. Who are you? Question mark. Oh, it was terrible. Oh, it's you. It's you, I recognize you. I rode the Phantom Train for so long, but I actually have terrible motion sickness. Thank goodness I finally managed to get off it. Okay, it's you. It's the ghost we can recruit on the Phantom Train. Okay. Okay, Typhoon and Fungua. Yeah, that's Typhoon and Ultros. You are the interesting one here. The Espers have loads of cute girls too, you know? Oh, seriously? Ultros after Shiva, I see. Okay, so much for the Esper village then, I guess. Guess we're leaving now. Okay, this room is the last room remaining except for the Moogle room. I can see here change party members. Okay, I can change party members still. That's important. I'm gonna assume that like this entire area I'm currently moving in is basically what is the X-Patch, where the X-Patch will take place. I could imagine that. Why did I change party members now? No clue, but here we go. Okay, Elaine, yeah, of course. Hello everyone, please look after Cyan for me. Wait a second, Cyan, let's go with the lock, Ultros, Realm and Sabin maybe? Like, Cyan should have special dialogue here, right? Yeah. My dear, Elaine, how elated I am to see you again. Again. I'm alright. I do worry about you, but I know that you will accomplish your mission. I already did, kind of. Yes, please continue to look after Owain until my return. Okay, nice that you also get special dialogue here, depending on what characters you bring. Dad! I'm gonna train lots and lots and be a sword fighter just like you. Owain, no. You mustn't grown up to be like me. You should be better than me. As a man and a warrior. Okay. I'll be a sword fighter just like you, but better. Nice. Nemingway, there we go, Nemingway. My name is Nemingway. So, would you like to change someone's name? No. Oh well. If you ever want to change someone's name, I'll be right here. You can actually change party name, interesting. I wonder. Anyone else who has like special... Maria, we need Zetsa. Zetsa would be interesting. And Impresaria as well, I guess. Like, the other ones are kind of uninteresting. Let's see if I can talk to Ultros again. Maybe he has a comment about Realm or Sabin. Maybe both, who knows? What are you doing here, Ulti? Ah, Realm, actually. Ah, you! I finally found you, Pipsqueak. That painting you did of me, it made me look like a nasty sea creature. How could you do that to me in my face? Okay. Actually, dialogue. Sabin. Sabin, what does Sabin say? Okay, Sabin doesn't say anything, okay. Oh, hi, Ah, nice. Oh, hi, Sabin. Long time no see. You know me? Oh, you're that ghost from the Phantom Train. Wait. You can talk? Nice. Oh, it was terribly okay. If Phoenix would be here, surely there would be a dialogue. Rachel, of course, Locke, we have Rachel here. I need to get Locke out. And that's for Daryl, yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course. And of course Shadow, oh god. Shadow will also be interesting. Let's go with Shadow. Locke, of course. Zetsa. The Gao does not really have anyone to speak to here. Strago does not have any connection here. Mog, let's go with Mog. Oh, hey, Clyde. How are things? You better take good care of your daughter, are you here? Of course, you can count on me. Thank you, Baron. Okay, Daryl. This is gonna be interesting. Locke, are you still working as a treasure hunter? You should think about getting a real job soon, or else Celis is liable to dump you. Better get to it. Eep! Wow, that's the kind of dialogue I did not expect, okay. Okay, Daryl is interesting. Zetsa! You're taking good care of my falcon, I hope? Yeah, she's doing fine. Just remember, I'm only lending her to you. She's gonna leave your blackjack in the dust again someday. Ha! In your dreams. Okay. Nope. Lone Wolf does not say anything else. I think those two also don't say something of particular interest. Do those have some? Maybe a Celis. No, I did already have Celis in the party. Okay. I'm gonna guess the Frog is also not saying something special. Maria and Zetsa might be interesting. Didn't get my time in the... no. Nope. Wilfors, of course. He's a super... Would be nice if Locke had a reaction to this, but nope. Okay, I think then that is that, I presume. Cool, let me change party again. Nice, some nice interactions. There might also be some more, but I'm not gonna try every character combination here. I think that's a little bit too much now. Cool, let's enter this Moogle room. Mock house. Okay, I think you want to instruct me about the EX patch. Nah, sorry, you had to cough. Anyways, this is the mock house. The save point here is special. Very weird that we don't have Kupo at the end here. If you save your game here and transfer the save file to work with Final Fantasy VI Tier Edition EX Kupo, you'll be able to access an entirely new bonus area with super challenging boss battles, Kupo. Basic instructions. Unlock the mock house in Final Fantasy VI Tier Edition. Yeah, we did do that. Save the game at the save point inside the mock house. To be safe, make a backup of your save file too. Yeah, that's of course always the thing, always make backups. Rename the FF6 Tier Edition save file, usually a .srm file, to match the name of the EX game. For example, if the EX game is called ff6t/ex.smc, rename your save file into ff6t-ex.srm. Load and play the EX game. If done correctly, it will recognize your FF6 Tier Edition save file and load properly. And this is kind of complicated stuff, so see the readme file if you're having trouble getting it to work. Okay, yeah, that's basically what I have to do. I need to basically rename the save file I've created here, and then I need to load like a different game and like make it so that it recognizes the save file for that game. You're free to use the mock house whenever you want. Kupo. It's so weird if they don't say Kupo. Also, this is Zabin's house, right? I think this is Zabin's hut. Cool. Does anything... Oh, actually sleep, yeah, okay. With Final Fantasy X sleep theme, okay. Nice. Everything is quiet. That's unsettling. Let's do it like this. Okay, yeah. Is the music different? The music is different, right? Okay. Yeah, in any case, yeah, this is the save file where you need to save. You just follow the instructions the Moogle just told us, and then we should be able to move over to the EX patch. That's basically what I need to do right now. So, I'm gonna save here now. And yeah, this should be my EX entrance save now, more or less. So what I need to do now is I need to cut right now, and I need to like do as the mock has told me and the Moogle has told me, and yeah, then we will hopefully see each other in the EX patch. Still wondering how hard that's gonna be. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next episode of the Final Fantasy VI T Edition. Until then, take care and goodbye.